Eventide Brewery. It's near the zoo.
Is it the place they've rebranded as Solo?
I don't know. I don't know the name. There's two over there, but it was the first one there. I was like, why did they open another Mexican restaurant when you've got like the best Mexican restaurant in the perimeter?
I feel like all the Hans should move there.
Han Solo, Han Solo. We can talk about how shitty of a movie Solo is. Would you stop?
I set myself up for like that slow giggle. Set it up. I don't think that area is called Solo. I just threw it in there.
Oh, I don't know. I was like, there.
I was like, you should have seen you weren't looking at my face. I was like, haha, he let me say it. Now I'm gonna make a joke.
SOLI is what. Well, the Solo movie was a joke. So there we go.
That's true. That's for real. True. So true. Second season of Mandalorian.
This episode, the last two episodes, had the Mandalorian, had Grogu.
What I mean, we can talk about
Tano.
It's basically the second season of the Mandalorian starting now. Thank God.
The third season. Because there was already a second season.
You're right.
Oh,
I've been enjoying the Book of Boba Fett. But
I have not. It's been.
The last few episodes have been much better. There was the one episode with the what do they call them? Mods chasing the mayor's guy. That was a terrible episode.
Yeah, and then
other than that, the episodes have gotten. I thought the episodes have gotten better. That was a drop, and now they're going back up.
Have you seen all the? I'm just glad Mando's back because they needed him, and
it almost seems like they pasted in Boba Fett. Just because, I mean, we've had that one episode was completely the Mandalorian, and this next one, the last one they did was now primarily the Mandalorian, and then
the last two episodes have been. But see, the thing is this is the thing. Basically, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are Star Wars now. So they're going to make a whole bunch of TV, like Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
She's getting her own.
I'm excited about it.
Her own show, and that's going to be Dave Filoni's thing.
Well,
the
Dave Filoni actually is a fan of Star Wars.
Right. Well, I mean, he did Clone Wars, which is the best Star Wars thing that's been out in years. So,
well, after The Last Jedi.
All right. Anyway,
or what was this?
He did it this time, not my fault.
What was the second one?
I didn't do
that was the one.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. That was it. Hey, let's shit on our fans. All right.
But so basically, what you're getting is you're getting there. This is kind of like the preview for, hey, we're going to do an Ahsoka Tano TV show or series. Mandalorian's going to have a season 3, so this is kind of like the ad, like shoved in the middle of the show. The next episode's the last episode of Boba.
I know.
Everything will have to happen in this one.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. I think it's been great. I've enjoyed it. I didn't like the mod stuff. I thought that was kind of dumb. But especially beyond that,
6 episodes, because that's what it's going to be, 6, right?
Yeah.
For use that as one of your episodes, because it was almost completely a setup, and it wasn't a setup for much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is there's so little things out there that are actually good that I like. So I'm just like, I'm not going to shit on everything anymore. I'm actually going to go.
No, I'm with you.
Good. It's got its problems, but it's better than anything else out there, and it's better than any Star Wars they've made in the last.
It's better than the last few things Marvel's done.
Oh yeah. Well, in retrospect, I think that, and I initially didn't like it, but the more I watched it, once I got past, I hate what they did with Echo. Hawkeye was actually a pretty good series.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it was better than I mean, in retrospect, I still think WandaVision was just a hot pile of shit. And then Loki is not that much better. And I feel like I only got to really see half of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, I feel like they cut so much out of that.
Yeah, they really did, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it could have been really, really good, but I feel like they had to, maneuver and take stuff out because, they didn't release Black Widow in time and all of that. So, and I think Hawkeye was one of the more complete things that they were able to do. And,
So if you'd rate them best to worst, how would you do it out of those four?
Out of those four, Hawkeye would be the best. Captain America Winter Soldier would be second. Loki would be third. And WandaVision would be dead last.
See, I would do Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, Wanda. I thought, yeah, I like Hawkeye, but I feel like it's more of like a jazzy comedy than I don't know. Hawkeye. I didn't like it as much.
I also like Hawkeye because they're pulling some of the Netflix stuff back in, which was particularly really good. So, like that, and then Daredevil and No Way Home, that bringing that stuff back.
I did appreciate those, and those are like, to me, those are the best parts about the whole thing, is that they're pulling them in. But as far as like the entire story and how like was I excited to watch it?
I mean, no. I wasn't particularly thrilled about it, but it was still like, in retrospect, it was better than a lot of the other stuff they've done.
Yeah.
So what I think is everything, as we go and we get more used to shooting in a pandemic and dealing with a pandemic, and everything's now going to be released hell or high water, it doesn't matter anymore. So we're not going to have to worry about all this stuff that, we had to remove this entire subplot because, this movie wasn't released before the show came out. Or we're going to have to remove this whole
major stuff of everything shutting down. That's I had it. I agree. I would say first I would put Hawkeye. I'd put Winter Soldier and Falcon. Well, here's my look. I actually have my shirt. I would put that second. I guess I'd put Loki third. I still would put Wanda above What If.
I would do that for sure.
I mean, I thought What If was okay. What If was an animated or a cartoon, so I kind of set it aside from the live action.
But it should have been. I mean,
what?
I thought it would have been better.
Well, Wanda had its issues, so like all the pandemic stuff started.
Ambiguous. So ambiguous.
It was, but like they had to drop a lot of stuff and change a lot of stuff, and
they all suffered from that. But it suffered the worst. It and Loki. Well, actually, all three of them suffered so much from that. I think it really ruined the shows.
Well, even the Black Widow movie. Because there was stuff they wanted to do from that they pulled out.
Well, see, that was like there was the Black Widow movie was supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I feel like, and I'm not for sure on this, but I think some of the stuff with the Wakandans was kind of pasted in to cover for the big hole that was left by the Black Widows not being in it.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure. That's just, something
they definitely.
No, that makes sense.
There was definitely stuff that they had to pull out because they had the order, And if you look at how meticulous they've been with the points that have brought up in each one, that would make sense.
And everything that's in the What Ifs is going to show up in the movies, because the Dark Doctor Strange is going to be in Method of Madness or whatever it's called, Multiverse of Madness.
And Wanda's going to be in that.
Wanda's going to be in that. And the first thing they say in the preview is she's like, I made mistakes. I'm not here to talk about Westfield or Westview, whatever. So.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but they're also saying that when they release Spider-Man on DVD or Blu-ray, there's going to be a ton of deleted scenes and extra stuff.
Oh, I bet.
Which I'm here for. And I'm also here for another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I'm here for another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I'm just here for all Spider-Man all the time.
Well, he's on the What If 2 trailer. That's what they're leading with is Spider-Man.
Oh, really good. Cool. Well, he's going to have his own animated series too on Disney Plus.
Well, the other ones aren't that bad. I mean, I know they're for kids primarily, but they're not bad.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before. I mean, the Avengers were okay. The Guardians of the Galaxy ones were actually.
I watched those. Yeah, those were really good.
The shorts, the Guardians of the Galaxy shorts are actually pretty good.
They were really cute and really nice. Yeah.
Oh, and they're coming out with they're coming out with a new X-Men cartoon,
right,
or animated thing on there, which is a continuation of, there's all these, when I talk to people about X-Men or superheroes and stuff, there's an entire generation, these 90s kids who they love the X-Men, but they never read the comics. They watched that cartoon.
Right.
And that cartoon was a ton of stuff straight out of the comics, just animated. And they know all kinds of stuff about all these guys, but they're like, no, I never really read the comics. Because realistically, in the 90s, those cartoons were probably a lot better than the X-Men comics that were coming out. I mean, that 90s stuff was some hot garbage.
Well, and the 90s stuff was when, and in the early 2000s was when it was all the comics. There were 18 different X-Men things going.
X-Men
stuff connected to it. I mean, it was that was it. It was what was leading comics at the time.
Well, what is it? House of M?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The House of M was essentially the Crisis on Infinite Earth for the mutants, because it was just like DC was with all their different worlds. There was so many mutants and it was so big and there were so many comics, they couldn't keep up. They literally had the Marvel Comics offices, which were all the comics were making. And then they had the House of X comics, which was separate from that. And it was just all the X-Men stuff or all the mutant stuff. So they literally brought Bendis in and said, we want you to do this. And they're at the end of it, there's only 198 mutants left.
Right.
And then they were able, and then of course, just like DC did with the worlds, they screwed it up and just started blowing it all up again. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy. But I mean, that's everybody that I know is super excited about that animated series. Even my daughter, who's watched all of that stuff, she's very excited about it.
Do you think they'll have Hugh Jackman actually show up as Wolverine again? I think so. I think it's just gonna be a cameo.
If he'll do it, they'll bring him in.
Oh,
I mean,
he said he'll do it. He's gone on Twitter and said he'll do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was in another country and where they were filming, and he was outside, and there was a couple ladies that were talking to him and said something about they couldn't speak English, so they were like, Wolverine, and he goes, I'm Wolverine. And he pointed at him and walked off. It was really pretty funny the way he did it. But I mean, if you think about, for me, that's more of, I love the Spider-Man stuff. It was awesome. If they did that with him, it would be,
I really want to see a Deadpool
like that, and
Wolverine
it'd be huge.
Yeah. So he did a post. His post was like, I would love to come back, and he did a video post. I think maybe it was Instagram, not Twitter. And he was like, I'd love to come back as Wolverine if they want me to come back, but nobody has asked me. Nobody has even said anything. So he was like, I'm just putting it out there that I would come back and do it.
Well, if you think about, think about any of the movies that Marvel's got coming up, where at the end, let's say, they need the cavalry to come in. And the cavalry is Wolverine and Deadpool. I mean, it would be, that would just be, the theater would get, when I saw Endgame, people were stood up and cheered. It was the first show, it was the first day showing, and people stood up and cheered. It would be the same thing. It was like when the Millennium Falcon came up in the J.J. Abrams, which
Yeah.
got the biggest applause of anything in the whole entire movie. But
It was the only thing worth applauding in the whole entire movie.
exactly, it's the only thing anybody remembers. But
Shocking. Like this pandemic has just, they've closed all the places that I love. And it's just like, why? Because we used to walk over there.
Well, it's
for
never going
lunch.
to end, so it doesn't matter. You're not going to go back to those places because we're going to be in this freaking pandemic for the next 5
No,
years.
it's closed forever. It's closed forever. They're selling it. The Federal by me, the Federal that's been open since the 90s. You guys know that it's
Yeah.
closed.
really,
It's done. It's closed.